Council Bluffs, Iowa is a Midwestern city with a small-town feel. It has many hardworking people who are willing to help their neighbors, friendly people.
It's a quiet, rural community.
On the outskirts of the city, on the border near Nebraska, is Big Lake Park. The park is huge. It's almost 200 acres, and there are lakes, one filled with rainbow trout, hiking trails, and playgrounds.
Big Lake Park was known to be a place that families frequented. It was very peaceful.
But what happened here on a cold winter night in 2015 is part of a mystery that stumped police for years.
On December 5th, 2015, a woman was at Big Lake Park taking an evening stroll. She'd gone to the park to think while alone on the walking trail in the dark. She took a seat on a bench to rest for a moment. She was approached by another woman.
She said a female approached her from behind, told her to get on the ground, and then fired a shot at her leg.
She said the female ran off into the woods, and then she felt it was safe, so she walked this pathway and called 911 because she had left her phone in her car.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
I've been shot in the leg. Oh, my leg is filled with blood. Oh, Jesus.
The assailant still nearby?
I don't think so. I took off running.
Do you know what she looked like at all?
No, she was behind me.
Council Bluffs police responded. They had a helicopter over, could not find a suspect.
This was a shocking event to have occur, but no one was able to find this woman with a gun running through Big Lake Park.
It's a mystery that started 3 years earlier, 10 minutes from Big Lake Park in Omaha, Nebraska, with a man named Dave Krupa.
Dave Krupa was a 35-year-old mechanic. I was so fascinated by the fact that Dave Krupa was just a normal guy, a really nice guy. He wasn't the kind of guy you'd expect to find in the middle of a murder mystery. My name is Leslie Rule, and I'm an author.
Leslie Rule was so intrigued by this story that she wrote a book about it called A Tangled Web.
For fans of true crime, her last name might sound familiar. Rule is the daughter of legendary true crime author Ann Rule, who wrote the book The Stranger Beside Me about her friendship with Ted Bundy. Rule is carrying on the family tradition.
Dave Krupa liked women. He made no secret about that, and he made no apologies. Dave Krupa was recently separated from Amy Flora, his long-term mate. They had 2 children together.
They'd been together for 12 years.
And he was on his own for the first time in a very long time.
Dave Krupa moved to Omaha in 2012. He got a small, kind of sad single dad apartment, and he got a job at an auto repair shop there.
I didn't know how to venture back into the dating pool. I'd been out of it for a long time, so I felt pretty rusty. I was sitting in an apartment by myself at the time with no furniture, so internet dating was the thing. That was the way to go.
The first person Dave met on an online dating site was a woman by the name of Liz Golyar.
Her full name is Shanna Elizabeth Golyar, but she went by her middle name, Liz. Liz was a single mother with 2 children, and her kids were about the same age as Dave's kids. She had a business, Liz's Housekeeping. Liz loved taking selfies and sending them to her friends.
I thought Liz was very pretty. I was attracted to her right away, so then we set up a date.
Dave's first dates with Liz were at a coffee shop, and they just sat and chatted.
She was sexy, she was bright and shiny, and she was very engaging.
They had a lot of fun together, they got along really well, and it was just a very casual thing.
Dave was upfront. He absolutely did not want a commitment. He just wanted to have a little fun. And he was clear with every woman he met that that was the case.
And Dave was starting to meet a lot of women.
Mary, Kathy, Joyce, Beth, Margaret, Sandra. If the chemistry was there and the woman was willing, Dave was more than happy to explore a sexual relationship.
I was kind of going wild, just, being free for the first time in a long time.
When Dave's outlook on casual hookups changed when he met somebody the old-fashioned way, face-to-face in a chance encounter.
6 months after I met Liz, I'm at the counter managing the shop, and I'm the person greeting customers when they come in, and an extremely attractive woman walks in the door.
It's a woman named Cari Farver.
She brought her Ford Explorer into his shop to be worked on, and she was beautiful. A lighthearted air about her.
When we looked at each other, there was a little spark. You know, we both smiled. You know, you feel that sometimes.
Carrie Farver was a 37-year-old single mother to a 14-year-old son. She was a computer programmer at a big firm in Omaha.
She's showing me something inside the vehicle, and we're standing there, and we're very close, you know, within a couple inches of each other, and there's some tension.
Carrie talked to me about meeting Dave, and she was like, you know, this guy, totally not my type, but there was just something there.
Then a few days later, he came across her profile on the same online dating site that he had used when he met Liz.
So Carrie and I ended up going to Applebee's for our first date. We hit it off. As we're getting up to leave, I asked Carrie if she wanted to come over and hang out. And she said yeah. So we went back to my place, we shared a kiss, and then it got a little hotter and a little heavier. And then Carrie stopped and said, okay, if we're gonna do this, and this implying sex, that's all it is. You're not my boyfriend, I'm not your girlfriend. I felt like I hit the jackpot with that. I couldn't have wrote it better.
One slightly awkward thing, the night of Dave and Carrie's first date, Liz Golyar came by Dave's apartment to pick up some things that she'd left there.
I walked Carrie out the front door, and she walked right by Liz, and they probably saw each other for 6 seconds.
It was just a brief encounter, maybe 10 seconds or less, but this encounter would go on to have lasting ramifications for all three of them.
Carrie didn't seem at all bothered by her encounter with Liz. In fact, she didn't even mention it when she visited with her friend Amber.
She said that during the date she had fun and that she laughed a lot and hadn't laughed like that in a long time, and she didn't know what would happen, but it was working right now.
Carrie's job happened to be right around the corner from where I lived versus an hour from where she lived.
She had a big project coming up at work. She was working very late hours. Dave offered for her to stay at his house so that she wouldn't have to make that commute back and forth.
I mean, at this point, I've known her 2 weeks and she's got a key to my apartment. I was feeling pretty comfortable with her.
November 13th, 2012, Dave wakes up and gets ready for work, and about 6:30 a.m. he leaves for work for the day.
I give her a kiss and I say, I'll see you later.
When Dave said goodbye to Carrie that morning, he had absolutely no idea of the nightmare that his life was about to turn into.
My phone starts blowing up with texts from Carrie. I hate you, you ruined my life, what is going on? I was blown away.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.